Hi, welcome to Let's Bench Recaps. Today we are going to recap a historical drama film called The Young Karl Marx. The film starts with a group of people gathering fallen branches of trees owned by rich capitalists. They are trashed by the guards and some of them even die. Friedrich Engels, son of a proletariat, watches his father mistreat the working class at the factory. An Irish worker, Mary Burns, is seen fighting with his father over the rights of the workers. To make a point, Engels' father sacks her in front of all the workers to prevent others from raising their voice. The same night, Engels is seen going into an Irish bar where Mary and her friends are drinking and chilling. He introduces himself and asks Mary and her friends to help him write an article on the condition of the working class. They don't trust him at first, looking at his shiny and expensive clothes. However, he eventually gains their trust. Karl Marx, on the other hand, is a revolutionary writer in a journal that doesn't pay well. He has a wife and an infant daughter and is struggling to make the ends meet. He goes up to his employer's house to demand money for his last two articles. There he meets Friedrich Engels. Marx remembers meeting him a while ago where Engels had acted like a rich snob. Engels accepts that he was young and immature. However, the two continue to pass snide comments at each other until Marx finally accepts that he loved his article on the condition of the working class. Engels returns the compliment and tells Marx that his writing is also top class. The two become so involved in the conversation they are having that they leave the employer's premises without collecting the money that he owes Marx. They spend the entire day together, drinking, talking about philosophers and thinkers, and sharing the hardships of their lives. Marx tells him that he has a wife who belonged to a rich family, and now she's married to him, a man with no money. The next morning, Karl's wife finds the two passed out in Karl's study. They share the decision of writing a book, criticizing the theories of the existing philosophers with her. The two are happy and excited about the idea. As asked by Engels, Marx learns to read English to understand the theories of big English philosophers like Bentham and others. The three, Engels, Marx, and his wife, become a team and decide to change the world. Marx addresses the workers and motivates them to fight for their rights. Engels leaves the town to go to England, his birthplace. That same night, the police come to Karl's residence and order him and his family to leave France within 24 hours. He had upset the Prussian king by talking to the workers about their rights. Engels' father confronts him about his new book with Marx. He insults him and tells him that he stays in the company of communists and loose women and doesn't care about the family and the religion. His father also tells him that he embarrasses him in front of his friends and family. Freddie leaves the premises in frustration and runs to meet Mary, his love. They celebrate him being back in England. The two make love and send someone to get some beer. Mary tells him that she has arranged a meeting with the League of the Just for him. Marx and his wife move to Brussels. Marx is still looking for a job to feed his family when his wife gives birth to another beautiful daughter. They name her Laura. Friedrich writes to Marx and tells him how suffocated he feels living with father. He tells him that living with his father reminds him that he belongs to a family of manufacturers and yet is involved with the workers. Marx writes back and tells him that he understands his struggle. Is struggling to feed his family and is failing to do so. He also shares his idea of a new book with him. Friedrich, on realizing about the struggles Marx and his wife are going through, sends him money. Marx pays the creditors off and brings home food over lunch Marx shares his idea of going over to Engels to join the League of the Just with his wife. His wife graciously relieves him of his responsibilities towards her and the kids for a while and asks him to go and join the League. Marx reaches England, where Friedrich introduces him to his wife, Mary. Mary introduces the two to the League of the Just. While the League starts meeting on an unwelcoming and hostile note, Marx asks them to try him and Engels and throw them out if they turn out to be unuseful. The League is impressed after Marx tells them about his old friendship with the Proudhon, an eminent leader, politician of the workers' class. On their way back from the meeting, the three meet an old friend of Engels' father. The three get into a heated argument with the industrialist about how he exploits the workers and employs children in place of adults to save his money. In one of the League of the Just meetings in Brussels, Marx disrespects and screams at Wetlings, one of the respected leaders of the League. To Engels's and Marx's surprises, as a result of the incident, the League decides to welcome the two to formally join the League. They meet Marx's old friend, Proudhon, and ask him to join the League too. Proudhon refuses to join it, saying that he is extremely busy these days and has no place on his plate to add more responsibilities. Proudhon gives the two copies of his new book on the philosophy of poverty. The two spend the entire night reading the book and writing a critique of his work. At the Winter Congress, Friedrich Engels is elected the representative of Brussels. He gives a moving speech at the Congress. The audience is divided between the supporters of Proudhon and the supporters of Marx. The two take down the existing motto of the League of the Just, that is, all men are brothers, and introduce a new motto, workers of all countries unite. They also propose changing the name of the League to the Communist League. The supporters of Proudhon and Wetlings leave the premises, and Engels asks the remaining people to vote for the new motto. By simple majority, the name of the League is changed to the Communist League. When Marx feels tired and disheartened of having spent his entire life in furtherance of the objective of communism, and having achieved nothing, and having no money and a family to feed, Engels convinces him that they are very close to a change in the society. He convinces him to write the manifesto of the Communist Party along with him. Marx is hesitant at first because he only wants to write good books and not some small summaries, but he's convinced once Engels tells him that to achieve their purpose, they need to reach the workers who can't understand these complex books. To reach the workers, they'll have to write a simple manifesto that everyone can understand. The four, Engels, Marx, and their wives, sit together and write the manifesto of the Communist Party. A revolution broke out in 1848, 1 month after the manifesto was published. As a result of this revolution, many international worker movements were sparked. Marx, Jenny, and Friedrich exiled in England, and Marx wrote his exemplary work, Das Kapital, with the help of the two.